Have you ever watched someone your age suddenly decide to get fit and then go all in? They start running every morning. They buy heavy dumbbells. They try intense workouts from the internet. They push through pain because they think pain means progress. And a few weeks later, they are injured, exhausted, or completely discouraged. Here's the truth. After 45, 50, 60, or 70, exercise can still be one of the best things you can do for your heart, your muscles, your brain, your mood, and your independence. But there is one mistake that can turn a healthy habit into a painful setback: trying to train like you are still 25. Today we are going to talk about the smarter way to stay active as you get older. Not the extreme way, not the no pain, no gain way, the sustainable way.
You will learn which types of movement matter most, how to avoid the most common mistakes, and how to build a routine that helps you feel stronger instead of worn out. Stay until the end, because I will give you a simple weekly formula that can help you stay active without spending hours in a gym. Let us start with something important. Getting older does not mean you should stop moving. In fact, the opposite is true. The less we move, the easier it becomes to lose strength, balance, stamina, and confidence. At first, it may seem small. You hold the railing more tightly on the stairs. You avoid carrying heavy grocery bags. You stop getting down on the floor because getting back up feels difficult. You choose the elevator instead of the stairs. Then one day, you notice that your world has quietly become smaller. That is why exercise after 45 is not just about looking younger. It is about staying capable. It is about being able to walk where you want, travel where you want, play with your grandchildren, carry your own bags, get up from a chair without needing help, and keep doing ordinary things without fear. But here is the surprising part. The best exercise routine after 45 is often not the hardest one. It is the one you can repeat for years. Think about it this way. A single brutal workout does not change your life, but a 20-minute walk that you repeat hundreds of times can. A few simple strength exercises done twice a week can. Standing on one leg while holding a chair can. Taking the stairs more often can. Small actions become powerful when they are repeated. That is the real secret. Not intensity, consistency. Now, this does not mean you should never challenge yourself. Your body needs challenge. Muscles get stronger when they have to work. Your heart gets stronger when you move a little faster. Your balance improves when you practice balance. But challenge is not the same as punishment. You do not need to collapse on the floor after every workout. You do not need to compete with people half your age. And you do not need to prove that you are tough. Your goal is not to destroy your body. Your goal is to build a body that supports your life. That is a completely different mindset. Here is a question. What would you rather have 10 years from now? A body that can lift a very heavy barbell once, or a body that can walk comfortably, climb stairs, carry bags, travel, garden, dance, and get off the floor without fear? For most people, the answer is obvious.
Daily ability matters more than one impressive performance. And this is where many people go wrong. They confuse exercise with suffering. They think a workout only counts if it leaves them sore for 3 days. They think more is always better. But after 45, your recovery may be different than it was at 20. Your joints may need more attention. Your sleep may affect your energy more. Old injuries may return if you rush. And your body may need more time to adapt. That does not make you weak. It makes you human. A smart person adjusts the plan. They do not abandon movement. They simply choose a better way to move. So let us talk about the first rule. Rule number 1, do not go from 0 to 100. Imagine someone who has not exercised for 10 years. Then, on Monday morning, they decide to run 5 miles. On Tuesday, they have pain in their knees. On Wednesday, their back feels tight. By Friday, they are convinced that exercise is bad for them. But the problem was not exercise. The problem was the jump. Their body was not prepared for the load. The same thing can happen with heavy weights, intense cycling, long hikes, fast-paced classes, or aggressive stretching. Your body needs time to adapt. Tendons need time. Muscles need time. Your heart and lungs need time. Even your confidence needs time. That is why the safest starting point is usually smaller than people expect. 10 minutes of walking, a few chair stands, a few gentle wall push-ups, a few minutes of balance practice near a stable chair. That may not look dramatic, but it is exactly how strong habits begin. And here's the good news. Once your body adapts, you can do more. You can walk longer. You can use slightly heavier weights. You can climb more stairs. You can move faster. But you earn that progression slowly. You do not force it. Now let us clear up another common misunderstanding. Many people think walking is not real exercise. They think it is too easy, too simple, too ordinary. But walking can be one of the most powerful forms of movement, especially when you do it regularly. It trains your heart. It works your legs. It supports balance. It gets you outside. It can improve your mood. And it is much easier to keep doing than an extreme workout you hate. The best exercise is not always the most impressive one. It is often the one that actually happens. That said, walking alone is not enough for everyone. As we age, we also need to protect strength, because strength is what helps you stand up from a chair. Strength helps you lift a suitcase.
Strength helps you catch yourself if you trip. Strength helps you remain independent. And later in this video, I will show you why one simple movement can reveal a lot about your current strength. But before that, there is another mistake we need to talk about. The mistake of ignoring pain. There is a difference between effort and warning pain. Effort feels like your muscles are working. You may breathe harder. You may feel tired, but you still feel in control. Warning pain is different. Sharp pain, sudden pain, pain that gets worse with every repetition. Chest pressure, dizziness, feeling faint, a strange shortness of breath. Those are not signs to push through. Those are signs to stop. Your body is not your enemy. It is giving you information. The strongest people are not the people who ignore every signal. They are the people who know how to listen.
Now you may be thinking, so what should I actually do? Good question. The answer is not one perfect workout. It is a mix of three things. First, movement for your heart and stamina. Second, exercises for strength. Third, exercises for balance and control. When you combine these three, you build something far more useful than fitness. You build resilience. And in the next part, we are going to break down each one in a simple way. You will see why strength training does not have to mean heavy barbells, why balance training can take less than 2 minutes, and why the safest exercise is often the exercise you have been avoiding because it looks too simple. Let us start with the first category, movement for your heart and stamina. This includes walking, swimming, cycling, dancing, hiking, rowing, and many other activities that make your breathing a little faster. Notice something important. You do not need to become a runner to improve your heart health. Running can be great for some people, especially people who have run for years and enjoy it, but it is not required. For many people after 45, brisk walking is a much more realistic place to start. A simple test can help. During moderate exercise, you should usually be able to talk in short sentences. You should not be able to sing comfortably, but you should not be gasping for air either. This is often called the talk test. It is a simple way to check whether your pace is challenging but still manageable. You do not need a fancy watch. You do not need to count every heartbeat. You can use your own breathing. Now let us make walking more effective without making it dangerous. First, walk with purpose. Do not rush, but do not stroll so slowly that your body never has to work. Lift your chest. Let your arms swing naturally. Take comfortable steps. Look ahead instead of staring at the ground. and choose a pace that feels slightly challenging but controlled. Second, use intervals. For example, walk normally for 2 minutes, then walk a little faster for 1 minute, then return to your normal pace. Repeat this a few times. This can make a walk more interesting without forcing you into a hard workout. Third, make it social. Walk with a friend. Call a family member while you walk. Listen to music. Explore a new street. Give your walk a purpose. Because motivation is easier when movement is connected to enjoyment. Now, what if walking hurts your knees? First, do not panic. Knee discomfort can have many causes, but it may help to reduce the distance, slow the pace, choose flatter ground, or wear supportive shoes. You can also try cycling, water exercise, or swimming if those feel more comfortable. The goal is not to force one activity. The goal is to find movement your body tolerates well. Remember this, there are many ways to train your heart. Walking is only one option. Now let us move to the second category, strength. This is where many people make a serious mistake. They think strength training is only for young athletes or bodybuilders. That is not true. Strength training is for anyone who wants to keep doing normal life without assistance. Think about the movements you do every day. Standing up from a chair, carrying groceries, opening a heavy door, putting a suitcase into a car, picking something up from the floor. These are all strength tasks. And if you stop challenging your muscles completely, daily life slowly becomes harder. The good news is that you do not need to start with heavy weights. You can start with your own body. Here are a few simple examples. Chair stands. Sit on a stable chair. Place your feet flat on the floor. Lean forward slightly. Stand up slowly. Then sit back down with control. That is 1 repetition. This movement trains your legs, hips, and core. More importantly, it trains one of the most important skills in daily life, getting up safely. Try doing 5 slow repetitions. If that feels easy, do 8. If 8 feels easy, do 10. You do not need to rush. You want control. The slower you move, the more you learn about your body. Another useful exercise is the wall push-up. Stand facing a wall. Place your hands on the wall at chest height. Step back slightly. Bend your elbows and bring your chest toward the wall. Then push yourself back. This works your chest, shoulders, arms, and core. And it is far easier to control than dropping to the floor for regular push-ups. You can also use a resistance band, not because the band is magical, but because it gives your muscles gentle resistance without needing heavy equipment. For example, a band row can help strengthen the upper back, and that matters more than people realize. A stronger upper back can support better posture. It can make carrying objects easier, and it can help you feel more upright when you walk. Now here is a key point. Strength training should feel challenging, but it should not feel reckless. The last few repetitions may feel difficult, that is fine, but your form should remain controlled. You should not hold your breath. You should not twist sharply. You should not force a painful movement. If you cannot control the movement, the exercise is currently too difficult. That is not failure, that is useful information. Make the movement easier. Use less resistance. Hold on to a chair. Reduce the range of motion, then build from there. This is how safe progress works, not by proving that you can suffer, but by giving your body a challenge it can handle. Now let us talk about the third category, balance. Balance may not seem exciting, but it is one of the most practical things you can train. Good balance can help you recover when you step off a curb awkwardly. It can help you turn quickly without losing control. It can help you feel safer in the shower, on stairs, or on uneven ground. And the best part is that balance training does not need much time. You can practice it while waiting for the kettle to boil. Stand near a stable chair or kitchen counter. Hold on with one hand. Lift one foot slightly off the floor. Hold for 10 seconds. Then switch sides. That is it. You can make it harder over time. Use fewer fingers for support. Hold a little longer. Turn your head slowly from side to side. But always keep safety first. Do not practice balance in the middle of the room if you are not steady. A chair or counter is not cheating. It is smart. Now here is something many people forget. Balance is not only about your feet. It is also about your eyes, your inner ear, your leg strength, and your attention. That is why balance exercises become even more valuable when you combine them with everyday movement. For example, try standing on one leg while brushing your teeth. Try heel-to-toe walking along a countertop. Try slowly turning around and then walking in a straight line.
Simple movements, but powerful skills. And there is another benefit. Balance practice can increase confidence. When you feel more stable, you may be more willing to move. You may walk farther, try new activities, travel more, go outside more often. Confidence creates movement, and movement creates more confidence. That is a cycle worth building. Now, we need to talk about a subject that confuses many people. Should you stretch? Yes, but with a smarter goal. The goal is not to force your body into extreme positions. The goal is to move comfortably through the range of motion you need for daily life. You do not need to put your leg behind your head. You do not need to force yourself into a deep split. You do not need to copy the most flexible person in a class. Instead, focus on gentle mobility. Move your shoulders, rotate your upper back, stretch your calves.
Open your hips gently. Move your ankles. These areas matter because they affect walking, posture, stairs, reaching, and getting up from chairs. Think of mobility as maintenance. You are not trying to become a circus performer. You are trying to keep your body moving smoothly. And there is one more habit that can make all of this easier. Stop sitting for hours without moving. You do not need a perfect workout every day, but try not to stay in the same position for too long. Stand up, walk around the room, roll your shoulders, move your ankles, do a few chair stands. Tiny movement breaks can change how your body feels by the end of the day. The body likes variety. It does not like being frozen in one position for 6 hours. Now, in the final part, we are going to turn all of this into a realistic weekly plan. Not a complicated fitness program, not a punishment, a simple structure you can actually follow. And I will also explain the one mental shift that makes people stay active for years instead of quitting after 2 weeks. Let us put everything together. You do not need to exercise perfectly. You need to move regularly. A simple goal for many adults is to build toward about 150 minutes of moderate activity each week. That may sound like a lot, but it becomes manageable when you divide it. 20 to 30 minutes of walking on most days, a bike ride, a swim, a dance class, a longer walk on the weekend. It all adds up. And you do not need to reach that number immediately. Start where you are. Maybe that means 10 minutes a day this week. That is fine. Next week, make it 12 or 15. A few weeks later, make it 20. Progress is not about speed. It is about direction. Here is a simple weekly plan. Monday, a 20-minute walk and a few chair stands. Tuesday, a short strength routine with wall push-ups, chair stands, and light band rows. Wednesday, an easy walk, cycling, swimming, or a dance session. Thursday, balance practice for a few minutes and gentle mobility work. Friday, another strength session. Saturday, choose something enjoyable. A longer walk, gardening, a bike ride, a game of table tennis, dancing, or time outdoors. Sunday, light movement and recovery. A relaxed walk, gentle stretching, or easy mobility. That is not extreme, but it covers the basics. Heart health, strength, balance, mobility, enjoyment. And the most important word is enjoyment. Because the right exercise is not just the exercise that works on paper, it is the exercise you will still be doing 6 months from now. Some people love walking. Some people hate walking but enjoy water exercise. Some people love dancing. Some people prefer a quiet home workout. Some people enjoy tennis, badminton, golf, gardening, or hiking. There is no prize for choosing the trendiest activity. Choose the one that makes you want to come back. Now let us talk about motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Some mornings you will feel ready. Other mornings you will feel tired, busy, stressed, or unmotivated. That is normal. So do not depend on motivation. Depend on routine. Put your walking shoes near the door. Schedule your movement like an appointment. Exercise at the same time on certain days. Meet someone for a walk. Keep a simple checklist. Make movement easier to start. Because the hardest part is often not the exercise, it is beginning. Here is a useful rule. When you do not feel like exercising, promise yourself only 5 minutes. 5 minutes of walking, 5 chair stands, 5 minutes of stretching. Most of the time, once you start, you will do more. And if you do not, 5 minutes is still better than nothing. A small action protects the habit, and protecting the habit matters more than having one perfect day. Now let us return to the biggest danger, trying to prove something. Many people return to exercise after a long break because they feel afraid of aging. They want to feel young again. That feeling is understandable. But trying to compete with your younger self can become a trap. You are not the same person you were at 25. You have more life experience, maybe more responsibilities, maybe old injuries, maybe less sleep, maybe more stress. Your body is different. But different does not mean worse. It means you need a smarter strategy. Your goal is not to recreate the past. Your goal is to build the strongest version of your current life. That is a much better goal. You do not need to run faster than you did 20 years ago. You need to feel confident walking today. You do not need to lift more weight than you lifted in your 20s. You need enough strength to carry your life. You do not need perfect flexibility. You need enough mobility to move without fear. This is what healthy aging really looks like. Not chasing youth, protecting freedom. And before we finish, let us talk about when to ask for help. If you have heart disease, uncontrolled high blood pressure, diabetes complications, severe joint pain, a recent surgery, repeated falls, or you are unsure where to start, speak with a healthcare professional or qualified exercise specialist. Getting guidance is not weakness. It is a shortcut to safer progress. And remember this, you do not need an expensive gym. You do not need complicated machines. You do not need to punish yourself. You need a plan that respects your body and challenges it at the same time. Walk, strengthen, balance, repeat. That is the formula. A stronger body is built one ordinary day at a time. So here is your action for today. Do not wait for Monday. Do not wait for the perfect weather. Do not wait until you feel completely motivated. After this video, stand up. Walk for 10 minutes. Do 5 chair stands. Practice standing on one leg while holding a chair. That is enough to begin. Because the best time to take care of your future strength is not next year. It is today. If this video helped you, subscribe for more simple, practical ways to stay strong, mobile, and confident as you age. And remember, you do not have to exercise like you are 25. You just have to keep moving like your independence depends on it, because it does.